And John Bolton, as you know, served the Trump administration as national security advisor and as a former U.S. ambassador to the UN. And you are here in person, and it's good to have you, sir.
Glad to be here.
But you say we should get used to this, that there's going to be trouble for a while in this situation.
Look, Israel is responding to a barbaric attack, and I think the Israeli people are essentially united behind the government in eliminating Hamas as a military and political force. They want victory. Netanyahu just said it again. They don't want a negotiated deal. They understand the fate of the hostages is still very much at risk, but they see the overall national interest trying to get the hostages back, but finishing off Hamas. I don't think they're going to be talked out of it.
The reality of getting rid of Hamas, we've lived this nightmare here. You can't kill an idea by killing the people who believe it. You got to replace it with a different idea and a different reality. So the idea that that's when this ends, when they get rid of Hamas, when does that happen?
Well, I think there are a couple of metrics you can look at. I think Israel should not be satisfied until every inch of the tunnels under Gaza are destroyed, because that would have a significant impact on Hamas ever coming back again. And it's true you can't kill an idea, but if you kill enough of its adherents, it's very difficult
Aren't
to come
they creating
back.
A whole new generation?
They may be, but they saw what happened on October the 7th in Israel, and they saw second Holocaust. And that memory is never going to leave them. But let's really come to who's responsible here. It's not Hamas, ultimately. It's Iran.
Right.
Iran is the puppet master. All of this with the Houthis closing the Red Sea to commercial traffic, Hezbollah rocketing northern Israel, the Shia militia in Iraq and Syria killing Americans. That didn't happen by accident. This is all part of Iran's...
But what can we do about it?
Well, I think you've got to, if you want peace and stability in the Middle East, ultimately the only way that will happen is when you get rid of the mullahs in Tehran. Right now, that's not on the table, especially not with the Biden administration.
You think the Trump administration, before or if it comes back, would do something different?
What time of day are you talking about? The question for Donald Trump is not how to answer a question like that. It's what makes Donald Trump look good. He came very close to meeting with the Iranian foreign minister in 2019, and if he thought he'd been able to get the publicity he probably wanted, he would have. We're in a very dangerous situation. It's not Israel that's the cause of it. It's the mullahs in Tehran.
But it's complicated, right? I mean, October 7th was a horror. There's no way to mitigate it. But October 6th and before matters also. This is an untenable situation. The Israeli people don't even like it. They don't want to be the policemen of Palestine for the rest of their existence. What can be done? You know, you go after Iran. There's no tolerance for the American people in that. I mean, maybe you go after a couple of their real assets, but what are we going to do?
Well, I think the regime in Tehran right now is as unpopular and unstable as it's been since 1979.
But we cared for about 5 minutes, John. We cared. I had the people on here. They killed Masa Amini, and the women were getting persecuted, and then...
What you need are American political leaders who explain to the American people that our safety and security here, our economic well-being, rest in part on projecting our interests abroad. And in this case, if we could get peace and stability in the Middle East, which principally means getting rid of the government in Tehran, it would make a huge difference. And many of these conflicts would wither away because Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthi would not have arms, equipment, money, and training from Iran.
So then why did we go after Iraq and Afghanistan after 2001 instead of going after Iran and the Saudis?
Well, I think it's not the Saudis who are the problem.
Most of the people who bombed us were from Saudi Arabia.
Well, I think the influence came from those that were supporting terrorists. That wasn't the government of Saudi Arabia. But I think we stopped too soon. I think we had Iran in a box, frankly. We had replaced governments to their east and to their west, and that was the time to bear down, and we didn't do that.
So the American people, no matter how you pitch this to them, they're going to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. We want less, John, not more. Let them figure it out. Let them all kill each other, not us.
The American people are reasonable when you explain the threat that we face. And it's not just Iran. Obviously, it's broader. It's China, Russia. And to say to counter this threat, to keep you safe and secure requires American strength. I think you can make that case. Our problem is we haven't had leaders who understand the connection between the situation at home and the rest of the world since the fall of communism. We've had 30 years of political leaders who don't want to face up to the reality that we live in a big, wide world. And until we get leaders like that, people like Ronald Reagan, like Harry Truman, post-1945, we're going to be continually playing from behind.
3 months from now, do you think we're having the same conversation?
Well, I think it depends on whether the Israelis get what they want against Hamas. You know, look, when in World War II, Franklin Roosevelt's objectives against Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan were unconditional surrender in both cases. Why is that wrong for Israel to ask for?
Understood. Ambassador, thank you very much.
To see
To
you.
be continued. Appreciate the perspective. We'll be right back.